ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Irish Wristwatch production. My name is Brandon, and this is my review of Legend of Korra, Episode 6, Battle for Zaofu. This episode, the main focus of it is Kuvira captures Su Yin and her sons after the assassination attempt fails, and Korra attempts to defuse the situation. What ends up happening is Korra ends up getting her ass kicked by Kuvira, and Jinora, Iki, and Milo have to bail her out, and they leave Zaofu. Kuvira ends up taking Zaofu. We also had a subplot with Varric and Bolin. Varric manages to convince Baatar Jr. to allow Bolin to be his assistant for working on the Spirit Vine project, and what happens is Varric ends up creating a time bomb that destroys all of the Spirit Vines and all of the tech that was in that half of the train, and it basically creates a spirit nuke, and him and Bolin manage to get out of there. Him and Bolin are free from Kuvira's control. As far as Kuvira and Baatar Jr. are concerned, they're dead. One of my biggest issues, I think, with this episode was Korra attempting to be diplomatic, and I don't think it's a bad move for the character. The reason why I have an issue with Korra trying to be diplomatic in this case is because Korra has no standpoint. She has no real proper viewpoint. She is the Avatar, and that's about it. As Kuvira pointed out, Korra left. Right? Korra bailed because she had to go recuperate, and Kuvira is basically stating the same thing that has been stated for the entirety of the series. The time of the Avatar is over. And this has been stated by so many people that the Avatar might not be necessary or may not be a necessary force for the world. And we constantly have Korra trying to reassure herself that no, the Avatar totally is needed, because guess what? She is the Avatar. And who wants to spend their lives feeling like a useless, piece of garbage? There aren't many people, I think, who you'd find who'd say yes. But the reason I have a problem with this is because Korra goes to stand up to Kuvira, but Korra knows nothing about what's going on, right? She knows nothing except like secondhand or third-party rumors, right? She hasn't seen any of what Kuvira has actually done in the Earth Kingdom. She hasn't seen these re-education camps or these labor camps, right? She hasn't seen any of the shit that she's done. It's one of these instances where it's like, that's fine that Korra wants to be diplomatic. I applaud that movement for her character. I think it should be a thing. The problem is that she doesn't have any real standpoint. She has no argument, right? She's just doing what people told her. I mean, the entire time this episode, she was basically doing things based on the fact that Opal told her to, and then Su Yin told her to go into the Avatar state, and she did. On the other side, we have Kuvira, who we have no idea why Kuvira is going to such extremes. Why is Kuvira building spirit lasers and spirit nukes? Why does Kuvira have labor camps and concentration camps and re-education camps? Why does Kuvira have all of these things? I understand she wants to bring peace to the world and she wants to bring peace to the Earth Kingdom. The problem is, where is she coming from? Why is she going to such a great extreme? Is there a greater threat out there? Is there something else? We don't know that yet. And I think until we do, it's hard to really buy into Kuvira as anything other than basically just Hitler, other than basically just a crazy psycho dictator. That's really all that we can say about Kuvira, because we don't know where Kuvira is coming from. They try to make Kuvira seem noble by what she's doing to some degree, right? And that the things she's doing are necessary evils, but at the same time, they're also portraying her as some crazy nut job. And the question is which one is she? Because I feel like those things can't really coexist. I feel like one of them is sound and logical and the other one is not. Which one is she? As for some other interesting things that happened this episode, I think a particularly interesting thing to note was when Korra went to go deal the finishing blow to Kuvira, and Korra couldn't, right? She was in the Avatar state, but then when Kuvira looked up, Korra did not see Kuvira's face. I think it's interesting to note because, Jinora says exactly what the audience is thinking at that point. We got the poison out. What the hell is still wrong with Korra? And it's a good question. Another something that I want to point out is Kuvira immediately went to go to murder Korra. She set the terms of the fight before with Korra. If I win, you leave. You never interfere again. If you win, I will leave. I will retreat from Zaofu and leave Zaofu alone. Instead, Instead, Kuvira immediately goes for the kill. Come on, guys. Give some leeway. You have to make Kuvira seem reasonable to an extent. It was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it. I just have kind of issues with what they're doing with Kuvira and Korra. Like, they're trying to make Korra diplomatic, but Korra doesn't really have anything to back any of her diplomatic tactics, right? She basically is telling Kuvira stop because reasons, and that doesn't really play in this scenario, right? That doesn't really work out. So there's that. I don't really like how they're making Kuvira outright crazy. I did really like the scene with Iki and Milo painting with Suyin's son. I thought that was a really funny scene. Other than that, there's not much I can say about this episode. You know, it's all pretty much thrown right in front of our faces. And aside from my complaints about Kuvira and Korra, which hopefully the thing with Kuvira will be explained. I mean, Korra is never going to get properly explained, right? It's clear that Korra is suffering from some major form of PTSD, but the question is, like, how does she get over it? So hopefully that happens soon. Hopefully we get an episode that's just Korra getting over herself. And I thought that's what Korra alone was going to be, but apparently that was not entirely the case. So, and I really, really want to believe that Julie is playing the long con here, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.